Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. The movie is called The Post, and the lead actor in it is none other than Academy Award-winning Tom
Remember
Hanks.
those exciting days of winning Academy Awards? When was it? I think it was close to 20 years. Actually, it was more than 20 years ago. So
Bitter table for
no.
one.
I just bow down to the historical record.
Well, speaking of records, a newspaper is a great record of the events of the day. Are you a person, I would presume of your generation, of our generation, growing up, a newspaper was something you read every day?
Newspaper in the morning, and as soon as I wake up and I feed the dog and the teeth are brushed, the paper has to be there and a cup of coffee has to be had. I have 2 cups of coffee in the course of reading the entire New York Times cover to cover. Not every article, but the ones that end up speaking to me. But then I put it down. And I do not have updates on my phone. I do not constantly check, news alerts. I then stay away, unless you hear something on the radio or whatnot. I don't have a TV going on all the time. I then stay away until sometime later on that night, or sometimes not until the next morning. Because I think you need a degree of perspective in order to have the important stuff gestate, to rise up to the top. And if you're constantly getting banged with whatever the latest is, it just becomes this long kind of list.
But I know you had the luxury of actually going to hang out at the Post. And what did you learn about the process, or what insight did you get that maybe you didn't know before?
The volume of people that are chasing an individual story. You can take, if you take between the papers of record, which was probably the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the New York Times, maybe some other local papers that I don't read. They will have as many as 21 people on one story. And their bylines won't all appear in a story, though maybe 3 of them will. But that means you've got 21 different, if a story is the promontory, the peak of a mountain, you've got 21 people that are scrambling around on the side of it in order to try to get up to the top. And I did not realize that it was as in-depth as that, or as serious an undertaking. That's a lot of manpower, that's a lot of money, and that's a lot of people who get to work on a story for a long time until, a truth is gathered and it plays itself out.
There's Tom. What's really fascinating is this takes place in the early 70s.
1970.
And literally, you could change a couple of dates and it would be a story of today.
This is what great nonfiction entertainment does. When you examine history and you're looking at it not just from sort of mythic kind of element to it, that you're actually looking into the human behavior and as well as what the status quo was at the time and what the stakes are. 1970 could be 2017 in the same way that it could have been 1956, the same way it could have been 1927. Human behavior never ever stops. What's unique about the thing that's scary about it is there's always been false news. There's always been people who put out rags that lied in order to foment an agenda. It's always been the case. But there had not been a political figure or a businessman or a religious personality or somebody who took away the right to publish a story. And that is what the real crux is in the Post, and I think today as well. You don't get to shut down those members of the press that you disagree with. You don't get to shut them down because you think they're fake. America is based on freedom of expression, freedom of speech, freedom of the press. Whether you want to buy it or not. Hey, don't believe everything you read in the papers. That's been an adage since Gutenberg, for crying out loud. But the difference is that don't live in a country where the government or the church or industry says what can shut you down and take away your right in order to communicate whatever it is you want.
And just really quick, working with Meryl Streep, you produced a movie that she did, Mamma
Yes,
Mia,
I
another one's
did.
going to come out soon. What's it like to go up?
You think she does it a different way. You think that there's some magic thing that happens, or the set becomes quiet and drapes are pulled and it all happens inside some inner sanctum that you're not allowed into unless you have lines with her. But the fact is, there she is, a member of the ensemble trying to figure out how to do it, always wanting a couple more shots, as though she herself is chasing some brand of elusive truth that she doesn't have the faith that she'll be able to find somehow. She does it just like all of us, and yet she does it unlike any of us.
First of all, congratulations on a
Thanks.
terrific movie. This is Scott Orlin. Until next time.
Next time.